Is it too late to get started with Amazon affiliate or affiliate marketing in general? That's what we're going to talk about today. And hopefully, everyone can hear me. That's always a good thing. By the way, I'm Doug Cunnington from Niche Site Project. And I think the sound is actually working. It's always sort of touch and go, but things seem okay, which is really cool. So we'll get started here in a second. I think we got a couple people on already, which is fantastic. I'll be covering, whether it's too late to get started with Amazon affiliate in this session today. I'll answer a few questions, but only if they're about the topic today or tightly related. So one thing, I do need to share this out in a couple places. So I'm just going to share a link out real quick. And by the way, if you're watching, let me know where you're from. Let me know if it's your first time watching one of the live streams. That'll be just helpful for me to know. And if it is your first time, thanks for joining up. Hey, Chris is on. You can hear me loud and clear. And Nick is on. Hey, what's up? Fuckrell is on. Good to have you on as well. All right. Cool. I think that's sufficient. I shared it in one spot, so we'll see how it goes. And the reason why I am doing this topic today, someone sent me an email like yesterday, and they signed up for the newsletter. They said, "Hey, is it too late to get started with the Amazon affiliate stuff?" I feel like it may be too late, and got me thinking. People ask this question about niche sites, which we're going to talk about today. They ask it about like various other things like, is it too late to get started in podcasting? Is it too late to get started in YouTube? Is it too late to start a blog? And so on and so forth. So, the thing is, I'll just answer really quickly, really fast. It's not too late basically to get started with anything, right? So there are, various businesses out there that you can get involved in. A restaurant, like no one would say, "Hey, is it too late to get started with the restaurants?" Or is it too late to get started with a grocery store? Like those have obviously been around for a long time, but these are huge markets. Like in general, they're just huge markets, and there is opportunity to get started. So just quick answer, like, yeah, you can get started. It's not too late to get started, and there are many ways you can get into various areas. So the thing is, people feel nervous about whether or not they should get started now because it's going to be hard. And the news flash, the unfortunate thing is, yeah, it's going to be hard, and you're going to be confused, and you're not going to be sure what to work on. And that's kind of just like, that's how stuff works. That's just how things go, no matter what it is. So I started my blog Niche Site Project back in 2013, and I, followed the advice that I was supposed to follow. I did guest posting, I wrote content, I tried to do a good job, and it was hard. And basically I had to show up and like try and work on this stuff. I had to try and get guest posts. I had to network. I had to learn this whole other skill set, and it was hard the whole time. And then I sort of hit a brick wall in certain areas where, I could get guest posts on big blogs. I can get, my links on big blogs, and I can help, grow my email list. But things shifted a little bit. I sort of hit a plateau, and I had to go to like other areas a bit. So like YouTube, and, YouTube's been around for a while. There are people with, millions of subscribers. There are obviously thousands and hundreds of thousands of like smaller channels and stuff. But when I started doing this like harder, actually, I'll rewind a little bit. When I started doing like YouTube videos in general, if you go back to the beginning of my channel, you'll see like pretty crappy video. You'll see I'm awful on camera. I didn't really do any editing, and it's just generally bad. It's just generally bad. and I would publish a video and then I wouldn't do another one for another few weeks. And it was a tough process. Then this year, I decided I was going to go much harder. And sometime I'll do a video where I sort of analyze what I was doing at the beginning of the year and then what I'm starting to do sort of right now. And the conventional wisdom may be, hey, it's too late to get started on YouTube because there's all these established channels. I mean, there was a day where you could just show up and publish like not even that good of content and people would watch the videos, your subscribership would grow. And conventional wisdom would be like, hey, it's too late to get started on YouTube. It's too huge. It's too late. Same thing with podcasts. But really, you just have to like get started working on something, and it's going to be hard. It's going to take longer than you think. And when you think you get it, that's when you start realizing how much you don't know, which is good because like the self-awareness is really valuable. So, okay, I'm going to go back to the chat real quick. We got Blackshot on also. Chris from the UK. Thanks for being on. It's your second time watching. Paul's on. What's up? Augustus, Adrian, Danish. Nick is mentioning you still see tons of cookie cutter sites getting traffic by people just reciting Amazon descriptions. Eventually, authority sites that actually review products will take over generic sites. Cool. Yeah. And I'll bring it back down to the niche sites in a second. But Nick, you're 100% right. Valin, what's up? Adrian says you feel like you're late for this. Many people are doing it and you have lots to learn to get to a pro level. Yeah, that's true. Well, you do have a lot to learn. But that's the exciting part. Once you start figuring it out, it gets easier. So let's see. And Augustus, yeah, people appreciate the hat. Thanks. It's cold here. There's snow in the mountains. I think I'm going to go for a short hike in a bit. And Nick says you got your first sale on a site that you made from scratch that is 3 months old. So that's a perfect example. And I have a couple that I could mention real quick. And Silver has a site that's making money right now that you started 6 months ago. You made 20 last month. You made $20. This month, 150. That's the kind of trajectory that I hear, by the way. So 6 months, you make about $100. And you're poised right now, Silver, where like this November and December, like you could make, $1,000, right? Like that's the kind of growth. There, it's nothing, and then you hit $100, and then you can go to 500 and 1,000 like pretty quickly. As we're going through, and yeah, Chris is asking for the website address from Silver. So that here's one thing that I'll mention here. Basically, there's some school of thought, and I think my friend Alex over at WP Eagle, he's done more like public type case studies, and he shares like URLs and stuff. I caution people, don't share your URL to your niche sites in a forum like this. There's a lot of people on here. There's a lot of people that watch these videos later, and you don't want people to like know your site and know that you're making X amount of money. So Silver, smart move to not reveal your niche. People do reveal their niches and do public case studies. 100% of the time, I've seen several of these. 100% of the time, it turns out that there's some sort of negative impact because it was public. So, okay, now back to the topic at hand. Is it too late to get started with Amazon affiliate niche sites? And the answer is no, it's not too late. A good example that I have, there's a gentleman, a student in the course, 5-figure niche site, which is my premium course. He is from Russia. He enrolled in late January, and he had like some background in niche sites. I think he's tried to start a couple sites in the last like year or two. Nothing really worked. Maybe he got a little traffic, but he kept hearing stories, and he actually emailed me several times before enrollment was even open for 5-figure niche site, and I sort of got him going in the right direction. Now the thing is, his name's Roman. I won't say his last name, but Roman, English is not his first language. He wasn't writing the content on his own. and he enrolled in the course in January. He was able to, implement the stuff in the course. So refining like how he picked his niche. He made sure he was picking like the right types of keywords so that people actually buy them. And then he got going with the link building portion. I see there's a question on link building, and Roman didn't do any PBN work. He just did my simple plan of blog commenting and then guest posting, and he hit his first $100 month over the summer. So that's awesome, and he's continuing to grow the site, and he's getting better in refining certain areas. And then a couple of examples like of people on today. So Nick mentioned there's a site that he created 3 months ago from scratch, and he sold his first product. And then there's a handful of other examples of which I can't disclose specifically, but other people in the course where they just, they put the things that they learned, they put the lessons into practice, they executed, and they adjusted along the way, and they're able to learn. And by the way, so let's say you create a site and it's not successful. Let's say you only hit $20 a month, but the thing that is sort of like irreplaceable is the experience that you had in creating the site, doing the work, and then like realizing that you could actually make money online. The first, as I say, the first dollar is one that you remember. And it's really interesting. People are making purchases or clicking through your ads in some fashion that don't know you. They're reading your content, and then they're getting some value from it. And then you're getting a commission or some sort of ad share from it, depending on how you're monetizing your site. So that's like super powerful, because obviously a lot of this stuff can happen while you're not directly working on the site. So if you put a ton of work in up front, none of this is easy, by the way. None of it's hard, right? It's a lot of easy steps. It's like 100 easy steps, but you have to do it in the right order. And if you make a mistake in like step 25, you may have to go back to like step 20, fix a couple things, and then keep progressing. So it's an iterative process. It's a learning process as you go. It doesn't go away. By the way, I was catching up with a couple guys in my mastermind group this morning on Skype. And, we have the same types of struggles. It's just a different level. So we're trying to figure out link building. We're trying to figure out content. We're trying to work with teams and stuff. Still challenging. It's just different. Okay. Got some questions in here. That's the general idea. It's not too late to get started with niche sites. You just have to start and start taking action. And there's always going to be some churn and competition, right? So 5 years ago, people were having the same exact conversation, by the way. Is it too late to start a blog? Is it too late to start an X, Y, or Z? And the answer is always no. It's never too late. There's always people, not, I guess, like people that are finished doing affiliate marketing and they're moved on to something else. So there's room for other people to come in. And the people that are coming in, maybe with a smaller budget, maybe with, like Adrian mentioned, you don't have the same background knowledge that I have, right? So you're not limited by the constraints that I have by being an expert, because I know what I need to do. But you could come in, Adrian, you could innovate in a way, bringing skills from your full-time job that I don't know about. So one thing that I brought in, I'm a project manager, right? So I brought in project management and sort of well, I don't want to say corporate, but I have like the rigorous sort of organizational skills that a corporation may have that I bring into like the niche site and internet marketing area. Right. So it's a totally different spin. People weren't talking about it when I got started. They're not talking about it now because it turns out project managers make pretty good money. So most people are, stuck in project management with golden handcuffs, but I wasn't. So and I also got laid off, which is a good motivator to get everything together. So, okay, I'm going to answer some questions here. The point is, Adrian, like you could come in with like less knowledge, but you have a whole other set of experiences that other people don't have, and you could do something that's completely different if you go and take your other skills and pair it up with some other discipline. Okay, here's the deal. I'll answer all the questions that are coming up. If it's unrelated to the topic that I'm talking about today, it'll be like a one sentence or less answer. All right. So the general Q&A is on Fridays. Although this Friday I'm taking the day off. So I got my in-laws in town. All right. So Pan Kaj asked, what kind of links do you build that are helping? Guest post links. Jesus, what's up? It takes time, but you can make good money. I'm doing 200 US per month, but you're planning on scaling it to 500. Awesome, Jesus. I remember you've been on these live streams since the beginning of the year, so that's fantastic. Danish says, what website traffic analytic tool do I use other than Google Analytics? That's the only one, Danish. I don't know what other data you would need. Dave, what's up? Maybe do a video highlighting the mistakes to avoid for newbies so that we can avoid the common mistakes and get there faster. Really good point. I actually have some content around that, although it's not. I'm doing a mini course. I haven't mentioned this. I'm doing a free mini course. I think the dates are, I don't have a calendar up, but the dates are like October 16th through the 20th or so. So that week I'm doing a free mini course via email. If you're not on my email list, you should go to nichesiteproject.com, click the green button, sign up for the email list. It's a free course. In that course, I go over common mistakes. All right, there's 3 big ones that you should look out for. Danish asked about the traffic and the traffic on Silver site, and that's 30 people a day. That's really good overall, right? So 30 people a day, that revenue is really good for that level. Adrian says, how many tools do you recommend to buy to get a great job from keyword research to outreach? I don't know. That's kind of a weird question. Probably 2 to 3. Yeah, probably 2 to 3 is all the tools that you need. A lot of things are free, Adrian. Costas says, you found a keyword of 8,100 searches per month and 127 results. Is that a golden nugget KGR? No, it's not. Go look at the formula for the KGR. That's too many searches per month by a factor of like 40 or 37 or whatever. Mono Qua says, do I get traffic mainly with KGR posts or posts with harder keywords? Do you recommend building sites with mainly only KGR term keywords? I get probably a 50-50 split on KGR post versus harder keywords. All right, so about a 50-50 split per traffic. It could be a little bit different, but in that it's comparable. So it could be 40-60 in both, like either direction. I'm not 100% sure. And then you asked, do I recommend to build your site mainly on KGR keywords? It depends on a number of things, but if I had to tell you what to do in just a quick answer, I would say do a blend like I just described, focus on a couple harder keywords, and then have more KGR content and go from there. The reason why you would want a blend is because you have these KGR, keyword golden ratio, by the way. So if people haven't seen these sessions before, the keyword golden ratio is a data-driven way that I developed around finding keywords that you could rank for without link building, and you basically rank within, a day, less than a day. You rank like in the top 50 in less than a day. So the reason why you want a blend is the KGR terms can get you traffic early, fast, like what Nick was talking about. And the harder keywords will take time because they are harder, but they can bring in a lot more traffic. Now, the thing is, right, the harder keywords are harder because they're more competitive. So by definition, you have more competition. When you have more competitors, then you have more people that can displace you. And those, like the keyword that Costas talked about with 8,100 searches, I mean, you may find that it's super competitive. It may not be a buyer's keyword. There's a number of things that may be in play there. So you need to make sure you're going for the right keywords, Costas. I mean, it doesn't mean it's a bad keyword. It's just not a KGR term. It's not a keyword golden ratio term, Costas, because it doesn't follow the formula. Like you ignored the 250, like the local monthly searches need to be 250 or less. That's the part that you missed. So is it a good keyword? It could be, but it's not I mean, I made up the keyword golden ratio formula in the name. So I can confidently say, hey, that doesn't fit. So it could be a great keyword though, but it's just not by definition a keyword golden ratio term. All right. D-Card, what's up? How's it going? All right. Any other questions out there today? Any other questions? Right. Cool. So like I said, we got a Q&A session. Typically, those are on Fridays, but this Friday, my in-laws are in town, so I'm taking the day off. So basically, I'll publish another video. But hey, how about this? So I'll take a couple requests. I'm going to do a couple other like site teardowns for public sites, right? So sites that have been featured in other areas, and I'll critique them. So if you have any like requests, let me know in the chat here. Foreproof team says sometimes I find an easy to rank keyword, but when you put it in Google search, you find that Amazon is ranking #1 for it, yet with low page authority. Should I try and outrank Amazon? If the Amazon page has like the keywords in the title, then that means they're like trying to intentionally rank for it. Should you try to outrank it? Sure. I have many keywords where I rank higher than Amazon. The thing is, like, if they have all the like the keywords in the title, it means they're like trying to rank for it. So it could be a little bit harder. If all the keywords aren't in the title, then it could be easier. So it depends. But if you look at whether or not they're targeting that keyword, it can give you an idea how competitive it is. Adrian says, I have a post on page 1 for a keyword. Again, if the questions are totally unrelated to the topic today, I'll probably answer short. So nothing personal, just I'm going to go for a quick hike. So Adrian says, I have a post on page 1 for a keyword on position 4, which you did with the keyword golden ratio technique. But Google says that the keyword has 0 local monthly searches. Is that really bad? No, that's just fine. I go for 0 local monthly searches all the time because people search for terms. The thing to remember with local monthly searches is those are estimates, and it doesn't mean no one searches for it. It just means on average 0 per month search for it. So just remember that. Silver says, would you say we have less competition now than before Amazon cut the commissions? That was back in March of 2017. I don't think it has affected anything. I think the competition is the same. I think it would be impossible to actually be able to like with any actual data, like make that determination. Pastor Duke says, have I ever repurposed an age domain? I have. I've done that 4 times in previous case studies. It didn't work out for me, but it doesn't mean it doesn't work. It's actually a good technique. Pastor Duke further says, if so, did I experience the sandbox? And if so, how long? Here's the thing. If you use an age domain, it could be really good to do, but like I wouldn't get an expired domain unless you know how to find an expired domain and find a good one. What you really want is an existing domain, and what you want is an active blog that you like buy. So if you're going to try and do this, Pastor Duke, you should probably find a blog that's in your niche and then buy that. So if you're thinking about any other way to do it, you have to actually like know what you're doing. So if you're trying to shorten the sandbox, you need to buy an existing site because that's the safest way to do it. Can you buy like a domain from an auction? Yeah, but you may have to pay like $300, $400, $1,000, $2,000 to buy an aged like domain that like has backlinks and is good. If you're just getting like an aged domain where someone, let's say one of the services, right? Let's say one of those services out there is selling you an aged domain, then you just have a domain that's been around for 6 months. They didn't publish anything on it, or they published 10 articles and then they didn't do anything else. I haven't seen a case study where that like actually shortened the sandbox, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Okay, one more question from Mono here. Should you have the exact keywords that you're trying to rank for in the content and the header? Because if you do, then it won't look, or then it would look a bit unnatural, especially in Germany with all those long words. I usually put them in, but if you think it looks unnatural, then you shouldn't do it. So, okay, cool. I think this was a nice tight session. We didn't ramble on too much. I'm sorry I'm not doing the Q&A on Friday. If I happen to have a little extra time, I may do it. By the way, if you're not signed up for the webinar tomorrow, be sure you sign up for it. Let me pull the link. I got a fancy new link that I could send out for you here. Make sure this baby loads. Boom. Okay, if you go there, you should be able to sign up for the free webinar tomorrow. I'm talking about keyword research, and that is through another platform. It's through Webinar Jam. So like I said, hopefully this baby's going to load for us. And then Mono asks further, can you rank for it? Yes, the answer is yes. So, but like I said, if it doesn't feel natural to you and you feel like it doesn't serve your user, then don't do it, right? I mean, you don't have to do what I say. I'm just telling you. I mean, obviously, people are here, they're asking me questions. You want to know what I do personally. So I'm telling you that. If it doesn't feel right for you, don't do it. Change up the title a little bit. Don't use the keywords as much. Totally up to you. If you want to know if it will rank, hell yeah, it'll rank. Do you know if you want to know if it's profitable? It's profitable, yeah. But if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. All right. Cool. And Pastor says on the follow-up for his question, you repurposed one of your own old domains that was basically inactive. It had a good backlink profile, but you hadn't done anything with it. So you transfer the content. So that could be good. Pastor Duke, you let me know if the sandbox is actually shortened. But my thought is there's like no activity on a site at all for years. It may or may not be a situation where the sandbox is shortened. QDog is asking about alternatives to Amazon affiliates. Yeah, there's tons of them. So, I haven't published anything on this, but I've been thinking about Walmart. Walmart is doing like 2-day free shipping. They basically pay the same rates as Amazon. You can also like buy stuff from Walmart and go pick it up down the street. So Walmart would be a place that I would look. But you know what? People buy a lot of stuff on Amazon, so it's hard to find. It's hard to find something better than Amazon. But I'm guessing in the next, 12, I don't know, like 1 to 3 years, I bet Walmart's going to make a pretty good play. on it, and I need to write content on it so I can be out there predicting that that's going to happen. But Walmart is probably a good contender there. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. Be sure to sign up for the webinar. It'll be at this time tomorrow, but you have to be sure you sign up for it. So we'll see you later. And if you haven't watched the video that I published yesterday, it's kind of funny. Check it out. It's really short, and I think you'll probably be able to see it. So, all right. See you later, guys and gals.